resolution itself. Now, if you support the resolution in censuring Dustin Burrows, this is concurring with the resolution coming from, what's the county name? Brazos County. If you we will do the concurrence first, then we'll do the penalties later, right after this. So
That's the vote
the first
information?
question is, send us, in all in favor of saying we do concur with the county, say aye, but, or no, press 1. All opposed, press B, or 2. And if you want to abstain, C or 3. So all in favor of concurring, 1A, opposed 2B, and if you're abstaining, 3C. Jerry Fisher. All right. The resolution takes 3/5 and it fails. Since the resolution failed, we will now go to penalties. The next resolution. Let's go to lunch.
We go to lunch? Okay, because that.
Hey, guys. Jen, are you here? Can we do lunch? All right, let's take a 30-minute lunch. We are at...
To make this go quick, first of all, the next resolution on our report is the resolution of concurrence for Representative Angie Chin Button. This is a concurrence with the Dallas County Censure. There are 4 alleged actions of violations of the principles and/or legislative priorities. The requested penalties are 1, 2, and 3, and the details of those allegations can be found in the online document, the censure resolutions for consideration. The first allegation, allegation 1, deals with the speaker vote. I think we've heard that all day long, so that deals with the speaker vote. Allegation 2 deals with House Resolution 4, the rules, and this one is Record Vote 9, the nuclear option, where she signed on as a second for the nuclear option and then voted for the nuclear option. Allegation 3 is again with the rules, House Resolution 4, and that's Record Vote number 10, where she voted for Record Vote number 10, and they were alleging that that is a violation of legislative priority number 4, no Democrat chairs. And then allegation 4 also deals with that same resolution, House Resolution 4 and Record Vote number 10. And that is a violation of priority number 4 because it commits 36 separate additional censurable acts for each of the 30 committee vice chairs awarded to Democrats and each of the 6 subcommittee chair positions awarded to Democrats. So it considered the vice chairmanships as also a violation. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I move adoption of the resolution of concurrence for Angie Chin Button.
Point of information.
I'm going to come to you in a second. Just going to take, I'm not debating. I'm just going to clarify something here. Is all our members back? No. All right. There is a narrative here that we're going to be activists here today, and we're going to do whatever we think it is, but, you know, consequences be damned. I can promise you that won't be the case. If the party is liable for something, I will be liable, so will you be. So always remember that when you make activist type of comments that is being live streamed. All right. Yes, sir.
Jim Pickle, SD8. Point of information. Still not clear about this. Hopefully I will be after this. Are we allowed to strike out, move to strike out any of the censurable acts in these resolutions one at a time?
Yes.
Okay. We don't have to just concur in this, concur or not concur in the entire thing.
You can do whatever you want. You can't add, but you can remove things. Yes.
Well, I understood you could, same point of information. I understand you can remove the penalties because that's on us to do the penalties.
Yes.
But how do we change what the county did, either adding to or taking away from what they presented to us to vote on?
You can't add, but you can
Either
remove.
way.
Yeah.
How do we remove them? They've told us they want this in there.
It's coming to this body. The body have the right to
Okay.
change the resolution. Yes.
All right. Then I have a motion when it's time.
Okay. All right. The resolution is on the table. Are there any amendments or changes to the motion?
Jim Pickle, SD8, I move to amend the Angie Chen Button resolution to strike out number 1, which is the first alleged censurable act, because it does not, as Andy Yeller pointed out, does not cite any principle. It cites a plank, 213, and then cites that.
You can't debate yet.
Okay. So I move to strike
do I-
out the first one.
Yeah. Do I have a second on that? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Please explain the.
I'll try to be better about that, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, Judge, whatever.
Judge. Yeah. Yeah. Never be one. Yes.
Okay.
Hope not.
Okay, so this is again, I'm going to make this motion every time. This amorphous, personal accountability and responsibility thing. This is a classic example of them trying to cram a plank into a resolution strike. And for that reason, it should be taken out.
Okay. Anyone in opposition of this? Yes, ma'am.
Leslie Thomas, SD 22. I rise in opposition. It does list personal, that is a personal accountability and responsibility is a principle which is legit. And they use that instead of the LP of banned Democratic chairs, which this would have applied also. So this is a legitimate censure subject.
Okay. In opposition? In opposition? No? You're in opposition?
Yes.
Okay.
I want everyone
I'm
to
sorry,
fall
in favor. That's
I'm opposition.
in
your
favor.
opposition.
Yes.
She just spoke in opposition.
I'm
Are you in
speaking
favor?
In favor.
Okay.
Rolando Garcia, ST 15. I want everyone to follow this chain of logic, okay? It is not the speaker vote is not a violation of the Democrat chair legislative priority because that was done by the rules. And we counted one of the vote to close debate on the rules as a violation of that priority. So now what they're saying, and we're going to see this in multiple censures, is, well, they violated the plank. And by violating a platform plank, you violate a principle of personal responsibility and accountability. So my question for those who believe this is a violation is violating any of the 300 planks in our platform a violation of the personal responsibility principle? 252 planks. Because if so, we now have 252 Rule 44 violations. And this is really disingenuous to try and sneak the speaker vote in under the personal responsibility principle. I understand we're all upset about the speaker vote, but a Rule 44 violation has to be a direct violation of a principle or an LP. There is not a clause in Rule 44 that says if you're really angry about something, you can count it as a Rule 44 violation, even though it doesn't violate an LP or principle, as long as you're really angry about it, okay? So I have some very hard news for y'all. The speaker vote is not a Rule 44 violation. Now, I do support amending Rule 44 in the future to make not supporting the caucus nominee a Rule 44 violation. But as it is now, it is not a Rule 44 violation in this term.
Thank you. Are you in opposition?
I'm in opposition.
Yes,
David Wiley, SD 12. It is a principle that you must be held accountable personally for your actions. We can't just say that because we're not the judge and jury, we don't want to hold people accountable. Accountability is ethereal. Accountability is accountability. When the people who went forward and did not support the caucus's majority for a speaker, partnered up with the Democrats to get the majority, they were not acting with personal responsibility of the Republican Party. And for us to tell the delegates and Republicans statewide that we're going to decide which principles we want to enforce and which principles, well, they're just not enforceable. We'd love to enforce your principles, but we just don't think we can. No, we need to stand up and support and concur with this county executive committee's resolution in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you in opposition of are you in favor, anyone in favor of striking that language from, which was the first one, right? Okay. No one in favor. Okay. Are you guys ready to call the question on this?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. We're going to go to a record vote. No, not on the amendment. Hold on. You have a lot more amendments probably on this resolution. This is just one. There's plenty more. We can beat this to death, or we can actually go through the whole thing. It's up to y'all. You can speak if you want to. I'm not. Nobody called the question.
Mr. Chairman, Rachel Horton, SD 30. I just rise to speak against the amendment, if that's in order. I want to refer us to rule number 43 in our general rules for candidates, where we specifically say the Republican Party of Texas shall make an electronic copy of the most recent platform and legislative priorities available on its website. The county or state chairman shall distribute either electronic or paper copy of the platform and legislative priorities to each candidate, along with other candidate application papers. So when our candidates file to run for office, they are given the most recent version of the platform that we adopted at convention. And when they are given that platform, they are given, what was the plank number again that referred to the caucus vote? 213. They are given that. They know in advance that this is a stand that we expect them to take. And pulling this out of a resolution to censure, I believe, damages not only what the local county party has already given us in ranking their priorities, but it also damages where we stand as a convention, as a party, in saying that these are the things we expect our candidates to uphold when you run for office. So if we're looking at that specific aspect of this resolution, I believe that it needs to stay in this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Deborah, you're recognized.
Yeah, I'll make it quickly. Okay, I chaired the Band Democrat Chair Committee, and we had thousands of grassroots that gave up their day, their dollar to come to the Capitol. Ultimately, we were shut out of our own house, and this started with this speaker race. So I move that it remain in because they lied, which is a blatant principle. What happened in this speaker race, they held their caucus. David Cook didn't get enough votes. Burrows did not get enough votes. Instead of going to the next candidate and vote, Burrows left with 20 of his posse. So we didn't have the quorum to continue. So it was a bad game. And so I just believe we're going to keep going on. And ultimately what happened with the HR rules and how it came to pass that we did not ban, that they say they banned Democrat chairs, but that was, we were gaslighted because they filled the vice chair committees with all Democrats. And also the banned Democrat chair priority states that every committee must be majority Republican. And at the end of the day, the Democrats had 58% of the leadership in the House in this last session, and Republicans only had 40%. So clearly that legislative priority failed. They violated it, and it started with the speaker race. So I moved to leave it in.
Thank you. Yeah, you can speak. You can make new motions. We have a motion in place.
So I just want to say two things that haven't been said. I don't want to just keep reiterating. I want to note to what Rolando said. The reason why this is different, I see what he's saying, but the reason why this is different on the personnel accountability and responsibility, and why I think the grassroots are saying this to us, is this is a particular plank that requires, as was mentioned by Rachel, the representatives to make a personal pledge. And many of these representatives made a personal pledge who are in the censorship, and then they violated their personal word. So that is why this is different than just a statement in our platform of affirming a particular issue. This was saying that they had to make this kind of promise, and they broke their promise in order to preserve a power structure. And so that's why I think the grassroots are saying to us that this is a violation specifically of the personal responsibility and accountability. The other thing I want to point out, and then I'll end, is this. It's my understanding, Mr. Chair, that if we were to vote this down, and that we would then have to remove it from all the other resolutions, right? So this would be like kind of a nuclear option that would basically say to the grassroots, we're removing from all resolutions anything about the speaker vote. I, for one, will not do that.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
SD 19, Walter West. Mr. Chairman, again, I ask, point of inquiry, do we have those forms signed by those individuals on file as we speak?
I do not, sir.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, are we about to go call the question on this? All right. On the amendment, do I have a second? All right. Sorry, I didn't. All right, we are voting on the amendment. We're going to do. Who moved the previous question? Call the question. Rolando did. Who was Rachel Horton? Who was second? All in favor of calling the question, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Now we are back on the amendment itself to strike number 1 from Jim Pickle. All in favor of striking number 1 from Angie Chin Button's censure, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Nay. Believe the nays have it. Do I have any other discussion on the resolution itself? We're back on the resolution.
Mr. Chair, Tony Trevino, Senate District 21. I move to strike number 4, which alleges that the representative committed 36 separate censurable acts for each of the 30 committee vice chair positions awarded to Democrats and 6 of each of the subcommittee chairs. So I move to strike that.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. You may speak for your amendment, please.
In the end, whichever of these pass, our names will be on this. And this is simply duplicative of all of the other violations that they're alleging that she committed. There are not 36 separate additional censurable acts. So I speak in opposition, in favor of striking that violation.
Thank you.
I'm also in favor of striking it.
Okay. Are you in favor of anyone in opposition of striking?
Chair, would it be in order to remove, point of inquiry, would it be in order to remove this and just call it one censurable act? If we were to make such an amendment, would it be in order?
Not at this point, but you can do that.
Potentially, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm opposed to this. Susan Valiant, SD10. Thank you. I'm opposed to striking because each committee is separate in its own entity. So you're actually creating a Democrat chair, which vice chairs acted as chairs of 30 different committees. So it should stand.
Thank you. Opposition?
In favor of the motion to strike.
Favor of the motion,
Yeah.
sorry.
Couple of things to keep in mind. Angie Chen Button did not appoint any committee chairman. You know who appointed every committee chairman in the House? Justin Burrows. So to condemn her or criticize her or censure her for something that she did not do is fundamentally unfair. That's point one. The second point is, imagine you're in the House. January, you're voting for a speaker. Okay? You vote for the speaker. Committee chairmen are not appointed in the House until March. How did you know in January what was going to happen in March? You could not have known that when you voted for the speaker. Because if you knew that, you would have gone out and bought a lottery ticket instead, and you would resign from the House as a millionaire. Okay? We are criticizing, censuring people for things they didn't do. And when they did the act, they could not have possibly known the outcome of it. And even if Burrows had told her personally, hey, Angie, I'm going to put all these Democrat vice chairs in 6 committees, I'm going to put subcommittees, I'm going to put chairs in, he could have changed his mind the next day before the actual committee assignments were made. So are we going to go on facts here, or are we going to go on guesswork and supposition and then charge people for censurable acts for things they personally didn't do? Why don't we just stop this whole charade if we're going to do that? Because this is fundamentally not fair. Violates due process and the Constitution, every other legal principle I can possibly think of. I yield.
Thank you. Are you in,
I think she's next.
okay?
Yeah, I am opposing this amendment because the actual priority reads, the Republican Party of Texas, no Democrat chair priority reads, the Republican-controlled Texas legislature shall end the practice of awarding committee chairmanships to Democrats and require all committees to be majority Republican. So what we're missing here is that all committees need to be majority Republican, and that is not what happened. And so for those that had voted Angie Chen Button, her vote, along with the other 35 votes, violated our legislative priority. So I'm moving that this should not be struck.
Are you
In favor?
Yes, sir.
Rolando Garcia, SD15. Look really closely at this resolution, and what you will see is they split one violation into 3 violations. The one correct violation is the vote to close debate on the rules, which prevented conservatives from correcting a very flawed rules package. But this resolution is turning that one violation into 3 violations by counting the vote on the overall rules package, which we do not count. And in the task force report and in the task force meeting, we explicitly did not count the vote on the final rules package for many reasons. But this is the most egregious duplicative violation, because then it then says, well, we're also going to blame Angie Button for the votes, or for the vice chair appointments that Dustin Burrows made that he was compelled to do by the rules. And we're going to count it 30 times or 36 times or however many times we're going to count that. I would note that when we censured Dave Phelan last term, we counted his Democrat chair violations as one violation. We did not count each separate chair as a separate violation. But in this case, Angie Button isn't even the speaker. So she's not responsible for those appointments. She is responsible for voting to close debate on the rules package, which allowed the speaker or compelled the speaker to make those vice chair appointments. But she did not make those appointments. So there is one correct violation here and 2 very duplicative violations. And I'm just surprised to see the chair of that LP subcommittee arguing in favor, because she was there on all the LP subcommittee task force meetings. And we all agreed that there was one violation of this priority, but now she's claiming there's more. I'm sorry, there is one violation of this priority and the other two are duplicative.
Thank you.
Leslie Thomas, SD 22. We were not all in agreement. I'll just say that. So this is about House Rules 4 and them giving power to Democrats. And our LP says chairs, Democratic chairs. A vice chair is a chair. A subcommittee chair is a chair. They have power. And they were even given more power in the HR 4. And what they're saying is because Angie Chin Button, Representative Chin Button, because she voted for that, these are the consequences that came out of it, which violated our legislative priorities and our LPs. So I want to say this. Rolando was right when he says that the SREC did not, they combined
Ma'am, you need to address me. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. The LP, Rolando's right when he says that the task force, that the SREC voted to combine the nuclear option with the HR 4 vote. He's correct about that. However, the power of the censure belongs to the precinct chair. They have all the power. They pull the trigger. If they don't pull the trigger, nothing happens. And it's their interpretation, and they take it to their CEC, and they collaborate, and they pass things. So ours, a Rule 44 task force, and what the SREC decided on is information only to them. It is not controlling. And if this is the way they see it, and it is reasonable, I suggest that we vote for this as support of their view of it, if it's reasonable. And I believe this is reasonable.
Thank you. I don't see anybody at this side.
Likewise, I'm against striking this. Dale Lindman, SD4. Mr. Chairman, for the same reason we've heard, and so I'll be very brief because I'm just kind of piggybacking on some items that were mentioned. But I come from a long insurance background, and there is something called proximate cause. And once you create a cascade of chaos, you can't say, well, that way over there is not because what I did over here, when it's directly tied to it. Also, when my dear, good, esteemed friend, Mr. Pickle said a moment ago, there's no legal doctrine for this, for holding Congress, House Rep Chen Button responsible for these. There is something called a law of parties in Texas. And so she created one act that opened the door for the next, and I think she should be held accountable for all those items, unless someone can give good reason. If I was telling Lydia here, if I light your garbage can on fire and it catches your house, I can't say, don't hold me responsible for the house because all I did was your garbage can. Yeah, you created this. It caused a whole other set of cascading chaos in our party. Why are we all here today? What's the reason of all of us here, this time, sweat, money, energy we put into this for the last year, were these reasons? And exactly what Leslie just said, these CECs that pass these censures, we always say we need to defer to their judgment. To them, this is real. This is exactly what they're saying is the problem. And I do think we should take great gravitas in listening to their complaints and their concerns, and not just dismiss them out of hand over, we don't think it's right. I've heard a lot of people against this, though. They say, I don't agree with this. We need to concur with the people that are there on the ground and know their reps better than we do. That would be my my point for keeping this in and not striking. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that looks like that kind of concludes the debate on this. I don't see anybody else. All right. Well, just want you guys to know, we don't have to speak for 30 minutes, even though we have 30 minutes. It's the maximum, not the minimum. All right, we're gonna go to the resolution itself, and amendment. Yes, we have an amendment on the floor, aren't there? All right. Since there are no additional debate on this, we're going to go to a voice vote. All in favor of striking number 4, please say aye. All opposed, say nay. We're going to have a division on this. Yeah, just click. It's much easier to do the clicker. right? Yes. All right, point at Micah, it's right here. And if you are in support of the amendment to strike, press 1. If you're in opposition, 2. And if you're abstaining, 3. Support 1, opposition 2, abstain 3.
She's trying. Did it go?
So majority vote, what is the number? Where did the number go? I saw 32 for it. All right, we hit the 30 minutes mark, so the motion is adopted.
Point of order.
The amendment is passed.
Point of order.
What?
The entire resolution now no longer contains 3 legitimate strikes.
It does.
Striking at number 4. No, because number 2 is not legitimate. Number 2 does not list a principle or a priority, which is required.
Unfortunately, that needed to be as an amendment during the 30-minute time slot. We can't do that now.
Wow.
Yes.
It does mention the preamble, Tim, which is not a roll call vote. Yeah.
The point of order is
Yeah.
to reject this resolution because it does not have 3 strikes in it, Rule 44, and I'd like a ruling of the chair on that. 2 is not legitimate.
Sorry. Say it again, sir.
Point of order, this resolution for Button no longer has 3 legitimate Rule 44 violations in it.
All right, give me 1 second.
Thank you.
We talked about it.
Number 4 is out. Number 2 is not legitimate.
All right. I'm going to roll that out of order. The reason is if we needed to remove anything, the body have to have it as an amendment, and we worked through it just like we did point number 4.
I'm not asking to remove it. I'm saying it's not legitimate under our rules.
That's right. Since number 2 is in there, we didn't go through that process of it. It stays in, and it counts as one of the rules. You can strike it.
It counts even though it doesn't violate a rule.
Mr. Chairman.
That is your opinion at this point. That's not what the Dallas CEC said. So it stays in.
Mr. Chairman, I believe I can clarify this. The Rule 44 specifically mentions preamble and principles, and that violation mentions the preamble. It does say the preamble of the Republican Party.
Under the preamble and principles, you can almost put anything in there. So that's what they did, and that's where we're going with. You wanted to strike one of those lines, you got to show up and strike those lines. I'm not going to let that happen after 30 minutes of debate on something that nobody honestly disagreed.
Mr. Chairman. point of
Nope, we're going to a
good.
vote on this.
That was my
We're done with this. Time has expired on this. Yes. So this just concur with the Dallas County GOP's resolution. This does not enforce any penalties. The penalties we will go into right after this. Are we ready? All right, we'll take 3/5. All in favor of concurring the resolution against Angie Chen Button from Dallas County Republican Party, please press 1. All in opposition, press 2. If you want to abstain, press 3. 1 to concur, 2 to oppose, and 3 to abstain. Yeah. I'm gonna need a minute. We have the votes, just gonna need a minute.
Aim high, Randy, aim high.
Micah, what's the numbers? All right. Yes, I agree. That's fine. With 33 ayes, 24 nays, and 6 abstain, the concurrence fails. The resolution is kicked out.
Point of
Next.
information. Sir.
Next item on the agenda.
Point of information.
Yep.
I know with the Texas state that abstain votes, Janera Lewis, SD 27, abstain votes are votes thrown with the majority of rules in Texas. So would we add those 6 to the majority?
No, ma'am, it doesn't. You need 38,
Rule 44.
39 members. Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, ma'am. You need 39 to get there.
Sorry, I gotta find where I am. Okay, Mr. Chairman, the next resolution is the resolution of concurrence for Representative Cody Harris as presented by Henderson County. There are 8 alleged violations. Allegation 1 is the speaker vote. Record vote 2, principle 5. Allegation 2 is the previous question, nuclear option. House Resolution 4 for record vote 9. Allegation 3 is House Bill 34, record vote 3432, and that is the Texas is not for sale LP. Allegation 4 is House Bill 366, record vote 392. That's a violation of principles 1, 3, and 4. Allegation 5 is Senate Bill 17. Again, Texas is not for sale. Record vote 1848, priority, and that's a priority again. Allegation 6, Senate Bill 22, which deals with principles 5 and 9, a record vote 3541. Allegation 7, Senate Bill 1, the budget, record vote 174, violation of several principles. And allegation number 8, Senate Bill 3070, record vote 3537, a violation of 3 different principles. And Mr. Chairman, with that, I move adoption of the resolution of concurrence for Cody Harris.
Thank you, sir. We're just going to go for it.
Okay.
You're recognized.
Rolando Garcia, SD 15. I can offer a lot of amendments, but I'm not going to prolong the agony. I will point out that 3 of these violations,
Can you get the counter going?
3 of these violations cited in the resolution were also committed by Mitch Little. Okay? Are we going to censure him as well? Now, one of those violations is for HB 34, which every single Republican voted for, including Brian Harrison. Are we going to count that as a censurable violation? So there are not 3 censurable violations in this resolution, but I also want to bring up the conflict of interest issue. There are 4 counties in this district. This was brought up in the biggest county, Navarre County, and it failed. This was only passed in the smallest county, Henderson County, which is chaired by the man running against Cody Harris in the primary. Now, we're all friends of Daniel Hunt. We all like him, but this reeks of conflict of interest. There are 50 to 60 Republican precinct chairs in this House district, but this censure was brought to us by five precinct chairs in Henderson County voted to bring this resolution. And we're going to say this is the voice of the grassroots. 5 precinct chairs in the one county chaired by the man running against Cody Harris in the primary. This is a monstrous conflict of interest. And just because Daniel is our friend doesn't mean we can overlook this. And if we had to defend this in court, we would get our asses kicked. And RPT would be embarrassed. I urge you, and this is not, voting against the resolution is not a vote of confidence in Cody Harris, but it is saying that there are not 3 legit violations. And because of the conflict of interest, we cannot censure in this case.
Thank you.
Point of inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that a motion or was that just speaking for or against the censure?
Speaking against us.
I'd like to, I would like to speak in favor of the.
Sure,
resolution.
please.
Lydia Covey, SD3. Rolando brought up a point that Daniel Hunt is chairing Henderson County. He actually stepped aside as the chair during this process and let his vice chair run the meeting. So he knew that would be a conflict of interest, and so he stepped aside. So I don't think that should be taken into consideration because he did the honorable and right thing. As to saying that it's only 5 precinct chairs, 5 precinct chairs matter, and they do constitute the party in Henderson County. They are the grassroots. So to just say because it's only 5, it doesn't matter, I think is a very lame, and it's insulting, frankly, to it's insulting to our Republican Party and the grassroots to say that 5 people don't matter. What if we said that 5 SREC members don't matter? They do. So 5 hardworking Republicans do matter. So I think that's very lame. I would consider everybody to actually look at these and not just hear slander and disregard the whole resolution.
Thank you.
I would also like to speak in opposition of
Ma'am, you're
the
recognized.
resolution. Tony Trevino, Senate District 21. And just to add on to some of what Rolando said, Representative Harris represents 4 different counties with 89 voting precincts in those counties. And there are 12 voting precincts in Henderson County. At the time of the vote, only 6 of those precincts had chairs. And it is true that Daniel Hunt stepped aside. However, 5 voted for and 1 against this resolution. Despite the fact that he stepped aside, this is a perfect example of why it would be nice to have had a rule where we could know if there are conflicts, because this is a direct conflict of interest. And there were, by the way, when Cody Harris ran for this election there were 21,179 Republican voters who came out to vote in the Republican primary and cast their vote for Representative Harris. So I would say that those 21,179 voices of grassroots members of the Republican Party outweigh the 5. And I would ask this body to vote against this resolution.
Thank you, ma'am. Are you in
favor
Okay.
of the resolution.
Yes, ma'am.
sir. Rachel Horton, SD30. I represent as Senate District 30, my cohort and I, we represent 11 and a half-ish counties, give or take. Many of those are also incredibly rural. We have Archer and Clay and Jack and gosh, I could go on, and Young and Montague, and we have several that just have maybe 4 precinct chairs. But those counties then send to the state Republican convention a weighted delegation. So they have a voice in this building. They have a voice in our state Republican executive committee business. And when they send us resolutions of censure, resolutions of approbation or condemnation or whatever they want to send us, we take it under consideration as such. I also want to remind my fellow executive committee members here that every last county party that has sent us censures today has met the threshold of these Rule 44 censures. So they have noticed their member, they have noticed their executive committee, and they have had 3/5 of the constituency voting for or against that particular resolution in order for it to even make it to us here today. So discounting a resolution because of where it came from, members, it has met the exact same threshold that it would have had to have met in Calhoun County, in Dallas County, or in Denton County, or Harris even, if we had gotten any from there.
Thank
So,
you. That's
no,
time. Let's make it
you.
about the resolution, not about our precinct chairs. Because our precinct chairs are working hard as much as we are or more. So let's talk about the resolution itself, please. Yes, sir.
Chairman Walter West, SD 19, and as a man who comes from a county of rural West Texas that only has 1 precinct chair, which ain't me, and happens to be married to our chairman, or chairwoman actually, I would have to oppose this because, again, we haven't figured out if the actual person, Mr. Daniel Hunt, he is the one who has to receive the Rule 43 information that we have yet to be able to provide. He physically, it's either you or Daniel Hunt has to be the one that issued that 43 information.
He's not the chair anymore. But
Well, at the
I
time,
understand what you're
cool.
saying. He was, yes. Are you in
I
favor
called
of the
question.
resolution, opposition of?
I called a question.
You called the question. Do I have a second? Okay. We're going to vote. Do you want to speak? You were here before. I'm going to let her speak, then we'll call the question.
All right, Janera Lewis, SD 27. We keep hearing figures thrown out such as 5 people are voting to censure somebody when 21,000 voted for this person. We are a representational party. Your precinct chairs represent 21,000 people then. And they are speaking for those 21,000 people. And as to Rolando's point, yeah, other officials did vote the same way. And had their CECs or their SDs given them a censure, we'd be discussing that today, but they did not. Yield.
All right, thank you. If you guys do that, we're going to have a problem. Let's not do that. All right, we're calling the question on the resolution itself, the whole thing. Cody Harris's resolution came from Henderson County, and we're going to go call the we're going to go to call the question vote first. All in favor of calling the question, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Now we're back on the concur part of the resolution. All right, we're good. Yeah, we're voting on the resolution, the concur part of it. If you concur with the Henderson County resolution against Cody Harris, please press 1A. Hold on. Are you guys ready? Okay. Please press 1A if you are against concurring with Cody Harris's resolution from Henderson County. Please press 2B if you're abstaining. Press 3C. 1 to concur and join the Henderson County against Cody Harris. 2 to oppose the resolution, and 3 to abstain. Patrick Womoff. Other Patrick. All right, with 38 yeas and the 22 nays, 3 abstain, the resolution fails, kicked out. Resolution number 3.
Mr. Chairman, the next resolution is the resolution for Stan Lambert. This is a concurrence with a resolution from Taylor County Censure. There are 8 alleged actions of violations of the principles and or legislative priorities, and the requested penalties are 1, 2, and 3. Just a quick review of those alleged actions. The first one again is the speaker vote. Record votes 2 and 3 for Principle 5. Allegation 2 is House Bill 2858 and record vote 2198 against Principle 9. Let's see. And so that's a border enforcement bill, by the way. Allegation number 3 is for the rules package, House Resolution 4. That's record vote 9. They said that was under priority number 4. Allegation number 4 is House Bill 805. This is one of the electric grid bills. Record votes 343 and 392, violation of priority 6. That was one that was not in the task force report, as Rachel. And the last one is allegation number 8, House Resolution number 4 again, but this is record vote number 10, principle number 8. So again, that's deals with the rules package. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, on behalf of the Resolutions Committee, I move the adoption of the resolution of concurrence of Representative Stan Lambert.
Thank you, sir. All right, I guess we're going for it. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Patrick Wamhoff from the Mighty SD30. I have a point of information. Can we leave the vote up just 3 or 4 more seconds longer? When we have a vote, we have activists trying to capture the vote, and
It's record vote. It will be published anyway.
3 seconds, all I'm asking.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Give me 1 second. I'm lost on my paperwork.
I asked for 3.
Don't think they're going to go back to that one, but we can do it from now on. Stan Lambert. Okay, we're good.
I do have a point of question or point of information, I guess.
Yes, sir.
If we vote to concur with this resolution, are we then bound to uphold all of these violations in future resolutions? Because I do believe there are 3 valid violations here, but there are some other bogus ones. And I don't want to prolong the debate by amending it. But by voting for this resolution, I do not want to commit ourselves to these bogus violations in future in subsequent resolutions.
No, I don't think,
Okay.
I mean, each resolution is considered individual.
Okay.
So we'll take it up as individual. I mean, it won't
Okay.
be bound just because we
Okay.
agreed on another
Okay,
another
all
one.
right, thank you.
Like you said earlier, some of our other members had voted in same way as some of them who are getting censured today
Okay.
or we're considering. So yeah, it won't be same. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like there's no debate on this. Are you all ready to go and cast your ballot? Okay. Well, you surprise me every time I come here. You guys ready? All right. Since there is no debate on this resolution, all in favor of concurring with the resolution, please press 1. All opposed, press 2. And if you're abstaining, press 3. Press 1 to concur, press 2 to oppose, press 3. Have all members voted yet? Who are we missing? Karen, Jane, Karen, one more time. Pointed at Micah. Pointed down to Micah. Yeah, there you go. You got it. There is nothing on the screen. It's just a screen. We're just displaying it. Micah receives everything. That's why he's bald. Blonde is what I meant to say. So, all right, what's the result? All right, with 44 yeas, 12 nays, and 7 abstain, the concur part of the resolution passes. Now we move to the imposing the penalty part. This is the guy who is not running, right? I'm showing the guy.
Mr. Chairman, how do you want
Yes,
to
sir.
handle this? Do you want to recognize motions to strike on this because the penalties
Yes.
are already inserted? Mr. Chairman, I move, Steve Evans, SD 28 for Chris Pro. I move to strike penalty 3 of this concurrence resolution.
I'll second.
I have a motion to strike penalty 3 from this concurred resolution, and I have a second from here somewhere. Who did? Okay, got a motion and a second. Would you like to speak?
I would. Mr. Chairman, without even getting into the minutia of the resolution, Stan Lambert's not running again. However, imposing penalty 3 does open us up to lawsuits should he decide, I'm just going to make an example of the party. I'm going to file. I'm going to get denied. I'm going to file suit. This is an absolutely silly thing to wage war on someone who's not running again. We've made the statement, concurred with the censure. The county has spoken. S3C's concurred. Penalties 1 and 2 are fine. We don't need to wage war over this censure. I yield.
I agree. Are you speaking in opposition of the motion or in favor?
Yeah, I'm in favor of the motion. That was opposition to the motion, yes?
No, are you in opposition of his amendment?
Oh, his amendment is to strike it?
I mean, his
I'm
motion.
against,
Yeah.
I'm against his
Yes, sir.
amendment to remove
Yeah.
number 3. And again, this comes back to David Wiley, SD 12.
Sir.
The delegates at convention establishing the rules by which we will operate the party. We can choose and pick and choose which rules we want to enforce and which ones we think that they were ill-advised to have passed that might open us up to risk or lawsuits, whatever. Or we can actually just do as we're told, follow the rules if we're asked and if we concur, but don't just say that it's a bad rule that we should never, ever do, except in extreme cases like, I guess, death of a child or something. It was requested by the county. It was listed as a valid response by the delegates of convention. Let's do what we have been asked to do and not remove this from the punishments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Chris Bro, SD3. The intent of these precinct chairs was to prevent this gentleman from running for office again. It is effectively, as our great legal counsel said, the death penalty. This person has already served his own death penalty. He is not running again. There is no need for us to waste ammunition firing against a guy who is not going to be in the race. We do not need to bar him. He's already gone. So these precinct chairs in this censure is already successful. Thank you.
Right? Are you in favor or in opposition of?
Favor
the-
of striking number 3 out.
Okay, we just had one. Are you in opposition strike? Yes, ma'am.
Right. So Genera Lewis, SD 27. So the point of the death penalty, it's not really a death penalty. It's a timeout. It's 24 months. And I understand the man is not running, or so he says. I'm sorry, sir. I'm supposed to address you. He may run again. And by this is a statement. I'm not asking for us to give him penalty 3, but we need to not take it off the table every time we come around to one of these censure votes. Pick one you like and support it. These people can run again. Just because they say they're not running doesn't mean they aren't. And stop running from the lawsuits. They're going to happen no matter what. Yield.
I'm going to disagree with the last statement. That's not how the lawsuits work. But yes, sir.
Jim Pickle, SD8. I'm in favor of striking penalty 3. You know, I actually agree with a lot of what's said on the other side of this. I really do. But the problem is, we are here and we are not a rubber stamp for the counties. The delegates told us, SREC, exercise your independent discretion, and we're going to give you the ability to decide what penalties are imposed. If we have to just rubber stamp what the county says, we want penalty 3, then we're wasting our time. It's just, if 2 people are the same, one of us is redundant. They did their job. They looked at the legislative action of the rep. They decided to censure him, which is not what we're doing here. That's done. The censure is always going to be there. What we're designed to do under the rules is concur or not concur, and then use our own judgment as to what the penalties are. The Legislative Priorities Committee that gave us this report, we made a mistake. We should have left out the penalties from the report because those are not part of what the county gets to decide. We get to decide those. And next time we'll hopefully do the better. It's the first time we've all done this. We're going to make mistakes. And that's why we're having to strike these things instead of what we should be doing is deciding to add them in, because we put them in the report and now we have to strike them out. So for everything everybody said about penalty 3, don't fight the battle, don't create a lawsuit when you don't need to, all that's legitimate. But the other point is, and I think it's missing here because we're not even using correct language. I've heard 10 times people saying, hey, we're going to censure this person. That's already done. The censure is over. We can't take that back. All we can do is either concur or not concur, and that's precision of language, and it makes a difference. And then impose penalties or not impose penalties. But we don't have to do what the county told us to do. That's
time, Jim. Sorry. 1 second. It better be a point of inquiry. Okay? Come up. You need to stand in line and do it just like everybody else.
Is this particular representative's all in one county or in multiple counties? Just clarification.
It is in multiple counties.
So it will be to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Rachel Horton, SD 30. I'm in against the motion. Yes, against the motion.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry. I'm against the motion, not necessarily because I oppose pulling, or let me rephrase that a little bit. So Representative Stan Lambert, as we all know, is not running again. And that's totally fine. The resolution just passed pretty much, at the majority, at the threshold needed. So 44-12. So we're here for that. But at the same time, the motion in the negative is where I have the issue. We are making a motion to say, we can do 1, we can do 2, we don't really care. But what Steve Evans is saying is that we don't really care as long as it's not 3, as long as it's anything but 3. Oh, I'm sorry. But the point here is that I would oppose removing that from consideration just because it is a motion in the negative. It is not something saying, well, yes, we want to do, we want to have penalty 1, we want to have penalty 2. I think our time is best spent on the things that we actually want to do. So thank you.
Thank you. You're in favor. Okay.
Rolando Garcia, SD15. I'm in favor because I want to be able to strip this out because I do want to vote in favor of penalties 1 and 2 for Stan Lambert. You're right. He may run again, which is why we should impose penalties 1 and 2 and why we should not impose penalty 3. As we saw our general counsel mention earlier, they are itching for a legal fight. If we impose penalty 3 on Stan Lambert, he might file again just to take this to court. They've been raising millions of dollars for this fight, and they want it because they want to defeat penalty 3 in court and permanently take it off the table. You talk about answering to your activists. What are you going to say to your activists when we go to court on a half-baked penalty 3 case and we lose and we take penalty 3 off the table and we lose the political leverage that even having it in the toolbox currently gives us, because it does give us a little bit of political leverage. What are you going to say to your activists when we nullify penalty 3 because you rushed into a foolish and weak court case? What are you going to say to your activists when we're at war with the White House and we can't raise a dime for convention? Okay? We're not, it's not even about raising money for the legal fight, although that's a lot. They are going to freeze out our donors. What happens? What are you going to tell our activists when Donald Trump starts tearing up RPT on Truth Social? Okay? This is not the time to go to war on penalty 3. It's not the time to go to war with the White House. We need to preserve penalty 3. We need to pursue a penalty 3 case after we have won the closed primary case and move forward with a strong case.
It's time.
Point of information.
You're going to have to show up. I'm not doing the point of information.
Just a point of information.
Yeah.
So if we remove the penalty for Lambert, does that mean we're going to have to remove the penalty for all the resolutions?
No, it's just individual censures.
Mr. Chairman, Ken Moore, SD11. Let's call a previous question.
Okay, we have a call to question on the amendment. We have a second. All right. All in favor of calling the question, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Now we're back on the resolution itself. I'm sorry, on the amendment itself. All in favor of striking penalty 3 from Stan Lambert's? Yes. I want to do a voice vote. Yeah, no, I'm not doing voice vote. Yeah. All in favor of, you ready? All in favor of striking penalty 3 from Stan Lambert's resolution, pointed at Micah first, then click.
Every vote except the final resolution vote is by voice vote. Plus 20% want to vote.